Hello, I think we're live. Good morning or evening or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Let's people start rolling in, or hopefully roll in, and we'll see. We'll go over what we're talking about today. So there was no stream last Wednesday. I do apologise for that. Okay, hello. Where's my not? Indeed, usually first as well. So glad you're back on form. I obviously you can't see this, but I've mentioned before I bought a Stream Deck, which I'm very excited about because it's a new toy to play with, and I'm supposed to be able to get the Twitch view count on one of the little mini button screens, but it's just not working, and it's kind of hard. I guess it's kind of hard to debug when you're not streaming, but I don't really want to spend too much of the stream faffing around with it. So I guess it just is. I guess it just doesn't work. I don't know if the issue is with the Streamer Bot software, if it's with the Stream Deck, if it's with the integration into Twitch. Like, it's impossible to say. All I know is it's not doing the thing I want it to do, but that's fine. Hey Julian, glad you can make it. Refresh that. Oh well, I guess I have to do it the old-fashioned way. Yes, should be live on both, which is good. Yeah, so what's the plan for today? So no stream last Wednesday, so I do apologise for that. But exciting news. What I did do last Wednesday was finish off the technical content for the next video. I was like up to here with it. It was just I couldn't focus on. It was kind of a little bit all consuming, and I couldn't really focus on anything else. And I knew I wouldn't be able to focus on doing a stream, so I just spent that Wednesday evening like bashing my head against a Windows debugger and got it sorted, which was nice. And I've scripted, I filmed, I'm halfway through the editing, so hopefully, new video next week, which will be exciting. Obviously, usual plug, it will be available early to YouTube channel members. If that is a thing that you're interested in or can do, that'd be great. Obviously, absolutely no expectation to, because normally like a day or two later, it'll be available for everyone. So that is cool. We'll minimize that software because that's clearly not doing anything useful for me. Right, okay, people rolling in, which is good. What's the plan for today? So the plan for today is to finish off the asset pipeline. I really don't want to spend any more than 3 streams on it. Obviously it takes as long as it takes, but I really don't think it should take more than, which is what combined, like 6 to 9 hours. We've got pretty good base. We've got our custom binary format, we've got a reader for it, we've got a writer for it, we've got a lot of the mechanics set up, and we've sort of started to plummet in. The goal for today, there's basically 4 things I want to try and get through today. One is to create a standalone tool that will take a directory of assets and then just stick those straight into the new binary format. So that will just output a single resources blob. I then the second part is I want to integrate that into CMake, so that CMake will run that when we configure it, so you can basically add new assets, reconfigure CMake, and it will produce a new blob for you. That's kind of like so it's all part of this like pipeline automation. The third one is we'll need to extend the binary format again to handle mesh like vertex data, because it doesn't currently support that, but that should be pretty quick. In both the reader and the writer. And then the final part is just to kind of integrate that all into the game. So we end up back with what I've got my little mini preview here. We end up back with this, but it's not passing any resources at runtime. It's just pulling them straight out of the binary format and basically instantly creating the internal game primitives. And then we can basically draw a line under the asset pipeline for now. And then I want to get on to integrating a physics engine, because I think that'll be fun, and I think we'll need that for whatever game we end up doing. I suspect we'll need at least basic physics, even if it's just like collision detection and resolution to constrain us to like a level, even if it's nothing fancy. So that's kind of the plan. So hopefully that'll be on Wednesday. So yeah, let's get into it. Where's my fancy transition button? Audio, that is a great question. I currently have no plans for audio. I would like to, in the spirit of doing things from scratch, it would be nice to kind of look at what native Windows, like you know how Windows does it natively. I guess that's probably, is it Direct Sound or is that the old one? Anyway, I haven't quite decided yet. We'll cross that, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. In my previous experiences with engines, I've always kind of stopped before I've got to sound, so that will be new ground. I need sound effects for the transition. Okay, so let's WSS. I don't know what that is. I'll have to have a look. I can't tell with the winky tongue face afterwards. I can't tell if that's a serious suggestion or one in jest, but we'll see. So we're going to need a tools directory. Okay, that's pretty reasonably standard. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to copy, and I guess test CMake into the tools directory, and then let's see what we've got here. So I don't want any of this chuff. I want add executable. I know, resource maker, resource packer, main.cpp, and then this should remain largely the same. Let's have a look. Unit tests. Oops, hang on. Unit tests should become resource packer G, except we only want to link against the game lib, which again is one of the reasons this is a bit easier now that we've pulled out the game into a library and executables. We can just bring in all the stuff from the game that we really want. I, in theory, shouldn't need this, because the game lib should bring it in for us. And then I guess need access to the source directory and the project source directory tools. We should probably actually... I have spelt it resource. First typo of the day. That's exciting. Source. Windows audio session. There's lots of good suggestions. I will definitely do a bit of research before that. So I try not to code. So that my kind of goal for this is that at least for the first release of the game, every line of code was written live, but I do some research kind of off stream to kind of have a chance at knowing what I'm going to write on the day. Actually, I think actually we might have more than one tool, right? So let's do the tools resource packer, right? And then copy tools CMake into tools resource packer, right? And then this now just becomes add subdirectory resource packer. And then let's find the other CMake file, which is VS tools resource packer CMake. Bring that over here, and then I think I just need to do... I'm not a CMake expert, by the way. Some of this might not be like the best way of doing it, but it kind of works enough for me. Doing the integration is going to be fun because I'll have to try and remember how to add custom commands and all that sort of stuff, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay, and now let's just close that and do tools resource packer main.cpp, and then auto main int resource packer return 0. In fact, actually, let's might as well check we've successfully brought in all the gubbins that we need. So let's bring in our exception class. I did a release to short today about exceptions, and it's proving to be as controversial as it always is. My thoughts on exceptions in C++. Alright, I think that's right. I'll sort out the red lines in a minute when we update our tooling. Yep, cool, glad you're here. Danakal, Monkey Business, glad you're here. It's not going to be the most visual stream today. It's going to be a bit more sort of like code on the board kind of thing rather than going through any of the graphic stuff, but we will get back to some graphic stuff soon. So let's just reconfigure this, see if it picks up our new thing, and then just do cmake build. Let's see if we can build our new... wait a minute, I've got to add it to the top levels. I have to add it to the top level cmake, aren't I? So that's there. And then tools. Okay. Distraction while you wait for your shaders to come out. It must be you're doing if you're compiling them, is that Spear V? Are you doing Vulkan? Oh yes, good point. I've got the return in the wrong place. Didn't like that. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Is in include IO stream. Vulkan, nice. Yeah, I'm avoiding Vulkan just because I don't think I'm smart enough to use it. First time chat from a few people. Glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying it. Luckily subscribed. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. As did Robert Yates. So that's another subscription. Thank you very much. Okay. Boo. Are you booing me, or are you trying to make me jump? Huckley gifted some subs. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Very much appreciated. And again, I'm not really sure how Twitch works, but there's a hype train en route in motion. It's very exciting. The jump kind. I use a Yates tool in my latest video. Cool. Okay. Right. So that builds, which is cool. I don't understand Twitch either. I'm just along for the ride. I think it's good. I can only assume it's all good stuff. I think the majority of people tend to watch on YouTube, but it's multi-streaming is so easy now. It's kind of silly not to, like, and then people have the choice of what they like to do. Okay, so we can run our tool, which is cool. I will just execute that from the command line after we build it. Nice. Okay, so we're basically done. Just gonna commit to this as we go along. I'm really bad at committing as we go along, and then I end up doing it like a few days later after the stream, and I can't remember what I did when, and it's not good Git. Not as he said etiquette. It's not kind of Git discipline. So initial resource packer tool. Cool. Okay, so we've got a lot of the stuff already kind of done in the tests, and we have basically a whole bunch of stuff in assets. So my kind of plan is to give the resource packer a directory, and then just everything in that directory it will pack, basically. So we could add like a manifest file or something which sort of says, hey, there could be more things in here than you need. Here's what the ones are. I'm just going to keep it simple. Like if it's in the directory you point the resource packer gun at, then it gets fired into the binary blob. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying how Twitch works. Yeah, git commit some stuff. I try to avoid that. Like Git, like all tools, like if you're kind to Git, it is kind to you back. So that's kind of my goal. So hey Emery. Okay, right. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. A lot of this has kind of been from iterating over loads of stuff. We don't actually need all this. So I'm going to use this as a chance to kind of clean up the assets as well. So I'm going to move assets to, I don't know, like what do we want? Like assets 2, assets old, and I'm just going to bring in like the stuff that we definitely need. So I know for a fact that we're going to need the barrel drums metalness and the barrel drums normal, and I think we need from the test the barrel drums albedo. So let's copy those first. Barrel drums. What the hell is the zone identifier? Sure. I'll be can I do star ping to assets? Okay, nice. That was easy. So what we'll do is we'll point it to that, and then we'll basically take those 3 textures and then we'll bundle them up into it. That's annoying. We might need a manifest file actually, because we have no way of knowing which of those are data and which of those are images. So what I'm talking about is, for anyone who can't remember or is new here, our texture, where's the header file? It's probably more interesting. Our texture class, you can give it a description which contains the data, but it also has the format and it also has a usage, and the usage tells the game how to interpret the data. So if it's sRGB, then it's color data, then it has to get mapped to linear space and all that other whatever governs goes on. If it's data, then it's like, no, this represents actual data. Please don't mess with the values like en route to the graphics card. So like for instance, normal maps. You don't really want to be, whilst they are conceptually colors, you're actually packing data into those RGB values, and you don't really want to be dicking around with them. So yeah. Emery's been member for 6 months. Exciting. Thank you very much for sticking around for so long. Could use the file name extension. I'm just trying to think. Oh yeah, actually. Yeah, let's that might be a better way. I'm thinking we might actually have, so we could actually have file name. I don't want to impose a particular limit on the file name, but we could do something like file name dot usage dot extension. So we could search for all the pings, and then we could look at the file thing and say, oh, does it contain dot data? Yeah, that's fine. Does it contain dot sRGB? Then that's fine. It's kind of really up to us to decide, and I think I largely don't care. I'm just trying to think whether I don't really want to faff around passing like a YAML or a TOML or a JSON or anything like that. That's just like extra chuff we don't need right now. So let's just see how I feel about this. So let's take barrel drums albedo. Actually, no, hang on. Isn't there a better way of doing this? Can I just open up assets here? Can I shift R to? No, hang on. What am I doing? mvim. explore. There you go. Right. So if we go up and then go to assets, I think we can rename this to srgb dot ping, and then data dot ping, and then data dot ping. That's a lot easier. Right. Okay. I think I don't hate that. I don't think I hate that. Yeah, again, like I don't really want to be faffing around too much with like, yeah, we can embed metadata and stuff, but it's more just like stuff to do. I'm just trying to get us to the point where we can kind of load this. I think whatever's quickest for this case is fine. We can change it in the future. Again, we're not writing an engine that other people have to use. We're just writing a game that we have to kind of deal with. So we can make some mistakes along the way and kind of get on with it. Where's my... Okay, so let's do file system, and let's do, again, this is going to probably just be not the best architected code, and that is probably going to be largely just going to live in one file to start with, because I don't think it's going to be too big. I might create a couple of extra files if we need, but again, I'm just kind of focused on, you know, this is a tool, this is not the game, this is just something that enables us to kind of make some progress on the game, so we don't have to have these like already quite annoyingly long load times for really not a lot of data. Let's go loop. Right, so we're going to want RC LV, and then error, and then we can just do ensure argc equals 2 usage resource packer dot .exe asset dir. So that all just gets going there. And then file system or const auto in, is it file system, file directory iter? Directory iter. I use file systems so infrequently I always forget the runes. That's it. So let's do for entry instead file system directory iter argv1, then we'll do instead println path entry dot path. Okay, let's see if that works. Can I have assert dir? Yeah, that's fine, because that's going to be you have to give it the, assert dir. Sorry, I see what you mean, yes. Thank you. Why is it not like that? As path, can you not print ln of path? Is there not a stud format overload for path? I find that not surprising, but upsetting. No, it does have a formatter for it. Why is it not like that? What have I done wrong? C++ errors. Help. Right. Yeah, I could convert it to a string, but I feel like... So, hang on. I feel like for out, when I can't use std format or println, like, just out of the box. It says it's got a... Oh, interesting. C++ 26. Interesting. They missed that. Right, fine. But the whole point of the abstraction is you keep it in the file system, the std file system abstraction, until you need to like use an escape hatch and convert it to a string. So I'd rather talk in terms of the file system. I always rather talk in terms of the abstraction I have until I don't need to anymore. But hey ho. Hey, see, glad you're here. Okay, right. So now we can do const auto path equals entry dot path dot string, and then const auto x equals entry dot path dot extension. Oh, you can do has extension. Oh, I wonder if... Okay, let's try something. Entry dot path dot has extension ping. Oh, does has extension just return like a boolean whether there is a file extension or not what the extension is? It's a bit lame. Fine, let's... Well, it's a voyage of discovery for us all today, because like I said, I don't use the file system that often. Yeah, check whether extension is empty. Fine, okay. Entry.path.extension. So I'm curious, when we get, I'm going to assume this gives us just the ping and not the extra bit. Hello, computer? Yeah, okay, fine. With the dot. Okay, fine. So if... const... I suppose it doesn't really matter. Const auto image extensions equals std set std string dot ping dot jpeg. If image extensions dot contains ext, then we can process it. I'm just going to kind of do this iteratively. Already half an hour in. Basically only written in main. This bodes well for all the things we need to do. Okay, fine, so that's fine. And then we can do... so how do we currently... I've got another Vim instance running. Nope. Okay, it's just being difficult. Yeah, edit. Christ. Okay, so I'm going to want to bring over STB because in the current texture we already load this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch this. I'm basically going to translate this logic out of the game into the tool. So we'll have that. And then basically going to take all this chuff out. To here. And we're going to have to know the width of the image in order to read it. So we might need a manifest file, or we could try and pass it out of the file data. Maybe this is going to be slightly more tricksy than I anticipated. Just int, and then include auto release. Probably memory as well. I mean, we've got a ping parser, JPEG parser, right? We've got STB, but whether that is enough to... Because you can do it with a file format, right? And where's the... Does STB load from... Isn't there like load from ping? Which might actually STB ping load. Is that what we need? Jesus. Yeah, STB ping load. Because we can just we've got the file name, so there's no need for us to kind of load it in and do it. What am I looking for? You do need to give it the width and the height, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, so I guess we might be able to use ping info. I don't know what the X and the Y are. Let's go to the docs. I don't know if it has any. STBI get ping dimensions. STBI info. Is there just a generic STBI info? Apparently it was documented better in 21, so that bodes well. Here we go. To query the width, height, and component count of the image without having to decode the full file, you can use STBI in family of functions. So we can do return zip requirement sets if image supported format, otherwise 0. That's what we want. So we can get that out, and then we can pass the data. That's fine. Okay. Well, we can test this out anyway. So const. So no, wait a minute. What do we want? If STBI info for path. I'm going to assume X and W in this case is the width and the height. And then we've got the num channels. And that was, what was the return value of that? It was, did it say it returned 0 on, was it 0 on error? Returns OK equals 1. Okay, sure. Is there a result type in STB, like a hash define that I can use rather than having to like remember arbitrary magic numbers? I guess maybe not. Okay. Okay. Oh no, hang on, what am I doing? Ensure equals 1, else failed to get image info. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just print that out. To start with. So that's width, height, and num channels. Of course, it's capi.cstra, and that'll be game. Nailed it. Okay, got a good feeling about this one. Okay, fine. Those are indeed the correct values, so they're all 496 square images with 4 channels. So that's nice. So we can get that. So then it's easy for us to just do the STB. I've already forgotten what the other one was now. Is it load? Is it just load image? Nope. STB load. I thought it was STBI load. Well, whatever. We'll give it a go. Path .cstra, and this should take the width, height. Things like that. And then we stick it in unique pointer so that we make sure we call image free at the end of it. Check it doesn't go bang. Cool. Okay, so that's loaded that. That's fine. So now we have a pointer to the raw data, or a unique pointer to the raw data. So that is fine. So let's do hacking. So now we're going to want our TLV writer, and then from here we're going to want a vector. And then a cease to def. Okay. And then we're going to go auto writer equals game TLV writer. And then we can write out, and then at the end of this we'll need to write it out to a file, which I guess will be the third argument, will be the out location. So what do we need from the writer? We need the name, the width, the height. We need to convert the format. We need to figure out the usage, and then we just give it the data. So it's not too bad. So let's write some helper functions here. So game texture format to texture format, and then here we'll take the std t. I think it's actually int, isn't it? We'll keep it in terms of their type. So these are basic conversion functions from STB outputs and types to our game ones. So num channels, and then we can just switch on num channels. Case 3, return game texture format RGB. Case 4, return game texture format RGBA. Default throw game exception unsupported number of channels, and then give it the num channels there. Okay, so that's that, and then I guess the other one will be the usage. So game texture usage to texture usage, and then tested string view path, and then if path dot contains dot data, return game text usage data, else if path dot contains dot what was the other one? Is it sRGB? Return game text usage sRGB, and then else we'll just throw game exception unsupported file type usage type path. Yes, nice, thank you. What do you mean it's no? Pretty sure that's right. Whatever, compiler will tell me exactly what it doesn't like about it. Okay, so now we should be able to do writer.write, and into that we should be able to do that's a good point actually. I want the name without the, so I actually now want to do const auto asset name equals path dot substra 0 to path dot find dot. Because I want to strip off all the extension stuff, and I could use I think file system does give you a way of getting just the file name, but I also want to get rid of that extra dot bit that we kind of embedded into it. I'm not missing the namespace name. It's what's called an anonymous namespace. So this just constrains all these symbols to just this translation unit. It means they don't kind of leak out. You can't accidentally extern any of them. It gives it internal linkage effectively. It's the kind of equivalent of making them static, but I prefer namespace because anonymous namespaces, because one, static is already kind of like a weirdly overused keyword anyway, and you can't do it with type declarations, so classes, whereas you can with anonymous namespace. So kind of anonymous namespace gives you everything and marginally less typing. That will leave folders and the name of the assets now. Ah, yes, good point, actually. That is a good point. So actually, I want to combine both of those then, right? So I want to do entry.path.filename Jesus. We'll give it a go. You know what? We can but try. And then, in fact, actually, we should change one of these. Let's change this one to be asset name. The asset name, asset. For anyone joining us, I'm a terrible typist, which is great for streaming. Okay, right, so now writer.write, and now we should be able to do asset name, width, height, 2 texture format num channels, 2 texture usage, path, and then reinterpret cast constant byte star raw data dot get. What does it not like? What have I missed? I got the name, width, height, name, width, height, format, usage. Oh shoot! It wants a span. Ah. Width times height times num channels. Let's get rid of this. Does C++ have a string split like C#? What a great question. No, and my understanding, my understanding of this, and I could be wrong, is that because no one can really decide what a split should do. Like, for the question, the first question is like, well, what do you store it in? Do you store it in a vector or a list or a deck or some ones if you want some custom format? So then you'd have to have, it templated on like a thing that can store it, and then the problem is that there's kind of loads of questions, and C++ doesn't really want to constrain you. So like, what do you do if do you handle if the delimiter appears twice with nothing in it? Do you have like an empty entry, or do you ignore them? What do you do if you have like a trailing delimiter? What do you do if the first thing's a delimiter? There's kind of like, when you've got a language like C#, which is driven by a company, Microsoft can just go, here's what split does, like deal with it. Whereas C++ is like, there's lots of questions around split, so we don't really want to standardize any of them. But the actual answer is use ranges, because ranges does have a split, and it gives you effectively it kind of gives you a way of well, it does it with ranges, so it's kind of a non-owning, lazy evaluated way of kind of moving through the different sections of that range based on a delimiter. If that kind of makes sense. That's kind of a bit of a side track there. But there is a split in range. In fact, actually, they got it wrong. So there's a lazy split, which was the original split, but then they changed it, and then there's split. And I can't remember the difference between the two, but I think you just want to use split. Oh, you just can't convert from int to a size type. Requires a narrowing conversion. Fine. If that keeps you happy, compiler, then I'm happy. Can't convert as a game exception. It really doesn't like that exception. I don't know why. I find it very hard to believe. Like, very hard to believe. Oh, did I not? Oh, no, I'm being stupid. That's why. That's why. I thought I had... I'm thinking of ensure. So if you go to error, ensure has a variant template which allows you to pragmatically build up your error string, but this doesn't. This needs to be stood. That is, I think that is on the to-do list. Like if we get like 10 minutes at the end of the stream to improve that. That's why. My bad. And also ensure is wrong anyway. We can do it. We can do it compile time like we do with the logging code. Yeah, Variadic Friends is C++ 26, I think. I do need it there because this is what this is doing is, and this is part of the problem with the way I've done it, is this is actually matching whatever. This is matching the skip. That's a good point there. That does need to be. Right. So that works. Well, I mean, I say it works. It sure is running. So now we need fstream, and then let's go down to main equals 2. Let's make the 2 3. Out path, and then we can just do down here stood earth stream path out is rv2 stood ios binary, and then const auto resource data equals writer dot yield, which will give us the not copy, it will give us the actual data out, and then out dot write reinterpret cast const char star resource data, and then resource data size. That's gross, but I think that's fine. Okay, so now let's just do resource. Oh, Harand, UI code today, retain mode. Just use ImGUI. What are you talking about? or using Qt or something like that. Oh, exciting. No libs. Doing it the hard way like we are. What have I done wrong? Why is this? This is just hanging. Is it just this taking a long while? Let's bring in the log. Oh, that's absolutely... Computer, hello. It's absolutely killed that. Oh, we're back. Try it again. So did the program crash, or did my terminal just have a fit? Is it just taking a while to write it? It can't be. I suppose there's a bit of data in it, but that's sad. My print line doesn't have anything where asset name is. Where's that? Oh yeah, good spot. Good spot. Yeah, that's... Well, the first thing is this asset name is wrong. So I've got a... With this horror here, what have I done wrong? Because even if it doesn't find it, this should return... Oh, does find return... it returns studentpos, doesn't it? Which is a massive number. So this is... I bet this string... Okay, well, it's a 0 byte string, which is definitely wrong anyway. Let's just get the file name. Dot string. I don't really understand. So the file name, okay, fine. It's just a full one, fine. So you have to have the extension on it, but that should still. Oh, was I returning a? I bet I was returning a temporary or something. I bet that's something to do with it. Let's just do file name. What was that? And then const auto asset name equals file name dot substr 0 file name dot find that. Really? I think that's separate. I think the lifetime might be a separate issue. Unless it's just taking a long time to write the data, but like. If I just inadvertently created a massive file, that's what, kilobytes. I suppose because it's now uncompressed, because I'm storing the raw data. Oh, that's really annoying. We might have to. The turn to make's not too bad. I will eventually recompress it and then uncompress it at runtime. But okay. Yeah, so it shouldn't take too long to write that. Not written anything yet? Have I done it? I haven't done it in the loop, have I? It'll be well. I say generic. It will be a subset of things. So it'll be images and mesh data. Okay, boy, 4K4 is only 64. Stem. That's what I was thinking of. Good shout. So there's a couple of things here. One, this seems. We think this file might be too. Oh, did it finish? Not what I meant to do. So we've got the type, the length, is that right? And the value, and then that has a sub TLV, which is the type. Yeah, something doesn't seem right here. I'm not convinced this is right because I can definitely got the RGB triplets here, right? You can kind of see them. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So texture description is 5, so that's fine. But it's saying the size is 4000053. So that's 4000053, which is pretty big. That's correct. Okay, fine. And then we then have a string and then the size. Okay, that's fine. Then that's the string. Yep. And then we have. Okay, maybe that is correct then. I guess the easiest way to check is to load it. So load binary resource. So we'll load resource from our current directory. We need to pass that in eventually. This will search for TLV reader. Right, okay, fine. Stood optional game texture description. Auto text desk equals that. And then what we'll do is I'll put all this, I'll hide all this behind a class eventually for const auto entry in reader if entry is texture barrels drums albedo text desk equals start entry dot texture description. So basically what I'm doing is because the little sample we had before was okay because we knew there was only one image packed in there, but now we have several textures packed in there. What I'm doing is looping through them all, trying to find the one that we want, and then pulling it out, and then optional, and then this goes away, this goes away, this breaks out of the loop. Oh, and it's no longer an iterator, is it? So actually that's just that. That makes sense. Ensure text desk. Missing texture. Alright. And that should be enough to get us going. Oh, I need to move the. That's fine. Let's move. Resource into. It needs to be an assets node, which is a bit of a weird, like, circular dependency, but we'll fix that in a minute. So where do we run game? Let's just see if this runs. The double bang is a bit of a hack. Basically, I want to treat the optional has a operator bool overload, but ensure. Actually, do I need it in this case? Basically, you use that when you need to force it to cast to a bool, but you still don't want. So the exclamation mark will force it to be a bool because it will try and negate. Sorry, start again. Putting one exclamation mark before it will basically say, oh, if this has an operator bool cast, an operator bool overload, then I'll call it, which it will. But at that point, you've actually inverted the check. So by doing a second exclamation mark, you actually put it back to the original one. It's just basically a way of coercing an object which has a operator bool function into something which takes a bool argument, because it doesn't always get casted in. Could not pass texture. Oh, okay, this makes sense as well, because the texture data is now wrong, because what it's going to do is it's going to try and pass that as an actual image, which we can get rid of now. And this becomes description dot data dot classic dot data, and then we don't need any of these. It is, yeah, it's shorthand for has value basically. Well, the first, yeah, effectively, but I just find it less typing. No, I've not tried Wes term. Quite still slow, but I can't remember. I don't know if it's, why. We might need to memory map these files in rather than read them in. I wonder if that'd be faster, because if we're going to end up with a massive, yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping it's because I'm loading other resources from disk. Although that would log when it does it, and this is definitely slower than it was when I did it at the beginning. Yeah, DSA is fun. I've been figuring it out as I go along as well. $970. What do you, what? Why is it now failing to load the spec killer map? Because that should still be in the assets directory, no? Like, oh, because I renamed, what a fool, because I renamed them, didn't I? What do I think when people say that modern C++ is mostly a bunch of bloat and you should mostly use it like C? So I think like C and C++ are two different languages, and that's kind of a real key point to make. I think they have different paradigms. You know, they have different best practices. You program differently in them. So to kind of say use one like the other is kind of doing both of them a disservice. C++ is relentlessly committed to backwards compatibility. So really, the main way you improve it is by adding more stuff that makes the older stuff like nicer, if that makes sense. They very rarely remove anything. They just add more stuff that makes it easier to use, like more syntactic sugar, more built-in primitives. So that bloat is actually the way progress is made in the language. I think like it's a tool at the end of the day, and if you're using it to add value to yourself or to a business or whatever, then you know that's fine. I think for me personally, like you will get the most out of C++ if you lean into all the modern features. It doesn't mean you have to use everything, but don't discount anything just because it's considered bloat or something like that. This is taking forever to load. This is definitely this new. It doesn't load like loading this massive file. Now I'm on line 79. Okay, I need to move these back as well. So let's copy. I think I might have made this slower. and then gonna need assets old front assets left right bottom top, and then the other ones were warehouse pack.obj. Yeah, maybe. I just kind of... I have to think about it, because I don't know. I really don't want to spend more than today on this. This was supposed to be. This was going to be like the first stream of the year was going to be like, oh, we'll do some binary stuff. It'll be a bit of fun. It'll make things a little bit faster. We'll do it for like a stream or two. Now we're in the third one, and it's actually worse than when we started. So I'm prepared to be quite aggressive with like cutting losses on this project to make progress. It might be that we get to the end of the day, we've not actually made more, because I really want to add the physics, because I think that'll actually get us towards the game. Like loading, like improving how we get assets into the game doesn't actually get us any closer to a game. This was just supposed to be like a fun like stream or two. Christ, you see that? What is going on? Like this is just, I've made things so much worse. But I'm kind of, I'm happy to admit mistakes get made. Right, left, top, bottom, front, back. Which one did I miss? Front, left, top. What? I've got them all. They're literally all there. Oh no, I need back and front, don't I? Yeah, this comes up a lot, like how to learn modern C++. There's a couple of books around. I can't really speak to the efficacy. I think for me, if you just go to the Wikipedia page for each C++ version, and then like 20, 23, 26, just like pick out features that sound like are either interesting to you or you think might be useful to you, and then just go to the CPP ref page for those, and then just read about them. They normally have examples. I think that's kind of a good way of figuring it out. And also keep coming to the streams, because I try and use as much modern C++ as I can, and feel free to ask questions. Yeah, this is getting worse. I wonder if we can map the file. Yeah, we could come back. Well, it's definitely working, so that's positive. But now I suspect it'll take even longer to build and write, because it's such a massive file again. let's change that to where do we? Hey? Oh, because I've not mapped them all as with the data. I've not tagged them all with data and whatever it is, sRGB. Let's keep going. I think we should keep hacking away on this for at least the rest of the stream, and then what we'll do is we'll take an objective view at the end of it. I might even do a poll or ask people's opinions on what they think, whether we want to like burn another couple of streams on this, or whether we just take what we've got and then figure it out later. Let's add the JPEG ones to this. I assume this is what everyone showed up for today, was to watch me rename files. That's the real pull of this series. Right. Right, let's try that. No, I'm not a game developer. As you can tell, I'm not a game developer because I'm making this up as I go along. What progress is made with asset pipeline? That really, that cuts deep. It's no, because the shaders aren't loaded as images at the moment. It's only looking for image files. Yeah, so the asset pipeline, so we've got a great binary serializer code, deserializer, that's all pucker, that looks great, that works nice, it's all tested. It's just a lot slower than it was before. I don't care if this is slow, because producing the files is something I'm going to produce like not that frequently. What I care about is the loading, but what we could do is because the resource loader why does it think I'm in that oh, have I changed directory? So because the resource loader just reads it in. I wonder if we're better off mapping the file there rather than reading it in. I'm not sure. I wonder how much difference it'll make. I appreciate Harand your comment. It's it's pretty good. And I know how much you enjoy Stud Launder. All right. So let's have a think about this. What terrible data I'm not even repeating that. That can stay in the YouTube comments forever. I'm not repeating that. So there shouldn't be too much. So it's a good point. There shouldn't be too much copying of the data, right? We can kind of almost convince ourselves of this because resource loader loads just reads the file, so this will copy it effectively from disk. So this I suspect is the slow part. We can have a look at that in a second. The TLV buffer, when it calls this reads it from disk. This here should take a span, which is a non-owning lightweight view over the data. So this is just a pointer and a size, or pointer and a pointer, depending on how it's implemented. So that won't copy the data. The texture description itself should be so that is a copy of it. Interesting. So we are copying the data again there. I wonder if that should be a span. The problem is, though, is that a span into what? That was a deliberate choice. That was a deliberate choice to copy that data, because you are reading over the TLV, and then everything you yield from the TLV, you effectively get a fresh copy of it, which means you don't have to worry about the lifetime of the original buffer, and then from there, that gets passed by, I hope, constref into texture. Yep. So that's not a copy there, and then yeah, it'll get copied again into here, but this is where it gets uploaded to the graphics card. So this shouldn't be, in theory, slow, because when we were doing it up here, we'd already read it and passed it from the image file. I have no profiling tool set up for this WSL setup, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. I wasn't expecting to kind of hit performance bottlenecks this early on, which is maybe my hubris, is my own fault. Yeah, I think so let's. So unfortunately, we'll have to resort to some sort of heuristics. So what's this be like? I will look at see if what's the best way to do some. It might be that I need to just get a Win32 profiler and pull these files out of WSL and give it a go. Yes, I do. I have done that before, and it's a pretty classic technique. I have written an in-memory like a sampling profile before where it periodically suspends all threads, takes a snapshot of their stacks, records them, and then lets the game run, and then suspends them again. So like literally jams the threads on and off very quickly, and each time takes a snapshot of their stack, and then you can use that to see what functions it's spending the most time in. I've written that before. It's really gnarly. It's good fun, but it's just like it feels like a waste of a stream to do that. When this is grim. But like we were loading the files before, so it must just be loading this. I'm convinced it's loading this large file, as in loading uncompressed data. Yeah, it instantly popped up with TLV load. Oh, interesting. Before, yeah, so it's this. I bet it's this line here. So no, this is a debug build, but like I would expect only a handful of resources to be relatively fast to load, even on a debug build. And also, I suspect it's not. I suspect it's IO bound. We shall see. We shall see. No, bang bang just means run the last command. In Bash. It means something else in C++. Yeah, it's definitely taken forever to read this file. What happens if we... Yes, I'll remove the French language pack, see if that speeds it up. Why not Windows included? I wonder if I can just map it in. I'm just going to see if the Windows equivalent of mmap is any faster. So we will get a handle, then we will map equals create file mapping. This takes the handle, null pointer, page, read. Pretty sure there's page read 0 0 null pointer game ensure map doesn't equal null pointer failed to map file, and then const auto map view equals map viewer file I guess could be even map file map read 0 0 0 game ensure. God, so much chuff with all this. I just want to be able to mmap it and go. No pointer failed to get map view. Oh, there's no A1. Okay, fine. Thanks, Windows. Sometimes there's an A, sometimes there's not. It's really impossible to say. So that, I think, gives me the raw pointer to it. So then we want to... Oops. Huh? Does it get file size A? So I want reinterpret cast const. I can see the chat going off. I will have a look at what everyone's saying in a second. That view, and then is it get file size? I can't remember. Does this return? If I actually got to get out of a pointer, I really hope I don't have to get out of a pointer. Okay. Oh my goodness, I've okay. No page read, fine. Where generic read, generic write, page read. Oh, it's read only. Okay, fine. Well, I've gone for read right now. Check I was right about file size, and I can pass a null pointer. Some of the Win32 APIs you can pass a null pointer to optional. Yeah, that's fine. Whoa, that was insanely fast, right? Was I going mad then? Did that just like instantly just map the whole file in? So before it was really slow from starting to TLV loaded. starting to, wow, okay, right, we're back on track, guys. We're back on track. We just got to rewrite everything to use file mappings. Yeah, IF stream. But it's not like it's using like what I thought was the fast method in IF stream, right? Like I thought this. I bet this is part of the problem as well. Is you're sticking it in a stream and then you're pulling it out as a string, and I wonder if this makes a copy as well. So we could have been doing a double copy in here. Okay, fine. I'm almost tempted to not bother caching it because of how insanely fast that was. Like, why bother caching it if you can just read it, if you can map it in? Because Windows will, I think if you map the same file in, it will just give you the same pointer back. Yeah, okay, fine. So let's... Yeah, but the problem is that like seek and peek, isn't there some like really weird like potential undefined behavior when you use like the C file stream or something? There's a really interesting article I read age. Let me see if I can find it. This I think I'm gonna have to go way back machine. Right. See if I can find the article that I read ages ago, which formed my entire view on how to read files in C++, and now it might be wrong. The blog is no longer there. Right, okay. Whatever, if that loads later, I'll do it. Okay, fine. So I think we're back on track for doing this, which is great, because now I've spent most of the stream faffing around with loading files. We might have to burn one more stream on getting this done, because we're pretty close. I'm trying to think of the best way of, because this is a little bit, well, we need to pull all this into a file. We should probably have a mapped file and just get rid of the... So here's a question for you, right? Well, okay, fine. Let's take a step back, because we've now got like pretty classic like software engineering. I feel like there's now like 3 or 4 conflicting priorities now. So we need to obviously finish off the main packing program. That's fine. We need to integrate that into CMake. That's fine. This is all now a mess. I think we've all decided through trial and error that mapping the file is probably the best way forward, at least for now. So that's fine. Should the resource loader now be changed to return mapped files? And if so, what does it return? Does it return a RAI class which unmaps it when it goes out of scope? Or does it return a span into the mapped data? Yeah, I think you should return a span into the map data. Then it's the resources loader's problem whether you might be able to be like later on like, oh, can you unmap this file if we need it? Like at the end of a level, we might say just unmap all these because I don't need them anymore. But I think we'll keep them mapped internally. with a span, how do you intend for the user to control the lifetime? I kind of don't. You're like, hey, can I just have a span of bytes with this name? And the resource will be like, yeah, sure, here you are. I mapped it into memory. Or no, this doesn't exist. I found the article I was talking about. So what's a good endpoint for today, so that we have confidence that if we have to spend one more stream on this, then we'll actually get something, we'll actually achieve something. I think a good endpoint is having all the textures loaded from the buffer, from the resource pack, and having all this tidied up. I think if we do that, then next stream, all we have to do is add mesh data and then integrate it into CMake and then just tidy things up. And then we might even have some time to do some bug fixes. It's difficult, isn't it? So do you want the RAI version? But then the problem is though is that a problem? Because what I'm saying is if you need that data again in the future, then you'll have to remap it in. Okay, I think we can let's puzzle this out from start to finish and figure out what like our requirements are and then whether what actually meets those. So originally when I wrote resource loader, it's because I wanted to cache resources because file IO is slow, as we have seen, and I only wanted to do that once per resource. So if I wanted to load the same thing multiple times, I only pay it's lazily done and I only pay the cost on the first one. The idea being that in the future I could extend that to be like, oh, I no longer, we're at the end of this level, please unload all these resources, which means a user kind of just gets back, can just read that data whenever they want. But I think this is copying it anyway. So they're copying it out the cache, which is actually not that great. So what I actually want is just the user to be able to just efficiently load data. I think I'm going to remove the cache because I don't think it's actually getting us anywhere at the moment. And as we've seen, mapping a file in is incredibly fast. So what we'll do is but other things use. But that's it. Okay, fine. The other point of resource loader is to abstract away from the file system. So you don't care where the resources are. You can just say, here's a name. And then because the resource loader is constructed with a root, it gets them for you. So I think we still need the resource loader class because I still want that abstraction over effectively the file system, because in the future, when we go to actually release the game, we're probably not going to release a separate asset file. We'll probably potentially bundle it into the executable into a Win32 resource, in which point this API still stays the same. We just change the constructor, or we just give it an interface or whatever, like a raw data loader, so it can either load it from the file system or it can load it from Win32 resource. So I still want the concept of a resource loader, because I think as well mesh loader uses it, as well as other things as well. I think like the program, I think we load the shade loader in the main. But anyway, so I kind of want this. Oh, but this doesn't do any caching. This literally is just... This gets you a copy each time. Yeah, I don't really like the idea of opaque handles. I'd rather classes, because that's, I feel, better encapsulation. Something like that. and then drop these two. And then the mapped file class struct, well, class could have a as string and return as string view or as data view and return a string view or a span over its internal data. So actually, then this becomes super cheap to copy. So yeah, I think I'll just do struct because I can't. And then this has something like something like that. So this is cheap to copy because internally it will just have the mapped pointer and probably a size, right? These methods literally just cast this void pointer to the correct type, use the size, and construct these. Ah, but it can't be copyable because you can't unmap it. But this could be an auto release or a unique pointer, so you would avoid doing that, or you reference count it. But that's a lot of machinery, I think, that I'm not that fussed about. But I guess it doesn't really matter because if you need another one, then this will just map it in again for you. And if you've already got one mapped in, it'll probably be even faster because I expect the kernel to be able to know what page that memory is already mapped into. So I think this is what I want. I think this gets us kind of the best of both worlds. I think it gets fast loading, fast reloading, a reasonably sensible API. That still allows us to load strings and data and stuff. So yeah, I think this is what we want. Then the mapped file when it goes out of scope. So the mapped file when it goes out of scope will unmap it, which means if you want to keep it around for longer, you can, as a user, you can just persist that. You'll be like, I just have these are all the mapped files I need for this level. The level's over, they will go out of scope, they will get unmapped. Yeah? No? Thoughts? Feelings? We're all in this together. You got to watch me fail to type this. I think that's what we're going to do. I've made the executive decision. We're going to give it a go. So what we're working on, we've been working on the asset pipeline. So basically writing a program which pre-bundles all of our assets into a custom binary format, and then the game should load those at runtime. However, it's been proven to be slower than loading them manually. So we found a faster way of loading large files, but now it means we now need to refactor a lot of how our resources are loading. So I'm going to try and get that done in the next sort of hour or so. Resource route loader is just a wrapper for file reading, yes, at the moment, yeah. I think mapped file should unmap when it goes out of scope because it's more in line with some of the other primitives that we've written. I think it's more consistent. Whether or not that is correct, I think it is more consistent. There's otherwise it should be called something like mapped file view or something like that. It should, the name, I think the design I've gone for so far is that primitives are kind of self-owning, and when they get out of scope they by and large clean up after themselves, and anything that's not that, we should be explicit with like a view name. So we could create a mapped file view later, which is cheap to copy and does reference the mapped file. But I think I like this. Include. It's just a pointer though, isn't it? So I might actually probably just get away with unique pointer. Rather than using mine. Where's unmap? To be honest, actually, what we can do is just do it all in the. I'll probably end up needing a bit of both. Because we're going to have handle, and then we're going to have handle map, mapping, and then we're going to have stood unique pointer void map view. Cool. Okay. Right. Let's keep going. So those are the three things we're going to do, and then we can automatically make sure they're done by using the primitives we've already got, and then so this is going to take a file system, and then we're going to go nope. We're going to go mapped file const file system path, and then we're going to do auto as string const string view, and then auto as data const span const byte. I bring in some more headers because who doesn't love a few more headers? String view span include c def. Okay. Oh, and I probably need the Windows handler. Include Windows. Okay, put that over there. Mapped file namespace game. Do my usual trick of bringing these over. Right, okay. Probably gonna want most of those headers. And then okay, right. So for this, we're gonna want, this is where all the chuff is gonna go. So handle is gonna be valid handle. Oh, these actually need to be templated on this, don't they? Invalid handle value, and I think this one is null. If it lets me do that, it's sometimes a bit funny about that. So this will be invalid handle value, and then close handle. And then what was the other one? Mapping. Null. Close handle. And then you've got map view. Is it templated? Which way is round is it? I can't remember. Is unique pointer you templated on the destructor? Or is that share pointer? It is. Okay, fine. So this is going to need to be decal type of unmap viewer file. Hello from not snowy, well, wherever I live. I'm not going to give away where I live, but I hope you're not too snowed in Manchester. Okay, right. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do. We've actually written a lot of this, haven't we? Isn't it already in main? So how do I? It's been a while since I've used the auto release. How's this? Oh, I use it as a. That's annoying because I don't think auto release has a. Reset. That's fine. No, actually. Oops. If So reset. Sorry, we'll start talking in a second. I'm just in the middle of trying to figure out what I'm doing in my life. Right, okay. Okay, loads of questions come in. So auto release is a kind of like a unique pointer style class that I wrote, which handles non-pointer types. And it also allows you to specify a custom invalid type. It's really useful for wrapping primitives that return handles. Rangers swap is used because it bypasses the ADL horror of using std swap. You don't have to use the weird using std swap whatever it is, because it uses like a global object, so it bypasses all that. No except in the swap does allow you to use it in, I think someone mentioned, in no except move constructors. And having a no except move constructor is potentially more optimal, especially in vector, because of the strong exception guarantee. If you are moving one vector from one to the other and one of the moves throws, then it has no way of effectively undoing that operation, which means it cannot provide what is known as the strong exception guarantee, which means that if an exception is thrown, it's as if everything is left in such a way as if the exception was not thrown. So if you have a no except move constructor, then you get the better optimization. Whew. Otherwise you have to copy them. That was a whirlwind dump of C++ knowledge for you there. It's not called map, is it? It's called mapping. Because obviously I changed the name. Because why would I possibly keep it the same? Right, and now unique pointer constructor does. Do you just have to give it the if it's templated? I can't remember. And what do I call it? Map view dot reset. Okay, where's all this going to go wrong? Let's wang this into CMake and start getting some compiler errors, because I think that's going to be the best thing to do. Yeah, the allocation will be safe. Unique pointer should handle that. Unique pointer shouldn't leak anything. With delete throw and issue on line 62 when there's an attempt to change the pointer. I'll have to check that in a second. Right now I have this missing return type after resource loader 16. Oh, of course, hang on, I need to revert all this crap. It's been a whirlwind stream today. Was not expecting these kind of roadblocks, which is exciting. It's part of the fun. Like if it all just worked first time, then it'd be boring. Auto release invalid expression as template argument for invalid. Why? See that question? It doesn't like my unique pointer, which is fine. And it also doesn't like one of my online 25. I bet it's the void one. I bet it's the null one, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't like passing null because it's technically a different type. But I don't think... create... Let's have a look at create file mapping. Create file mapping A. Where's the return value? Returns null, but it doesn't like putting null in here. I've had this before. I'm trying to remember what the solution is. Do I have to do something like reinterpret cast handle? There's something gross you have to do. It might. We templated in the header file using the auto release. Yeah. I think that fixed it. Because now it's complaining about the unique pointer. No appropriate default constructor available. 919. Oh, do I need to... what is it? Unmap viewer file. Why? We're using 23, and we'll use 26 when it's available. Yeah, I know, right? It's a very specific invalid pointer. Don't worry too much about it, compiler. Just roll with me here. Right, what am I doing wrong? How am I failing to use unique pointer? Like the class everyone kind of learns and uses. Function does not... Oh, careful. Function does not take 2 arguments. But it does though, right? Isn't that how you construct a unique pointer? Don't you? I was like, it's the decal type of this, which will be a function pointer, and I'm like, here is the function pointer, right? I go mad. Like, what is? Am I what? Computer, help! I just wish the errors weren't quite so egregious. Expect span arguments to provided. This is all like, you've given me too many arguments, but am I going mad? Right, unique pointer. Okay. Constructor. 2 arguments. See below. 3 and 4. Constructor is stood unique pointer which owns P, initializing the stored to read P, blah, 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 and value initializing the stored deleter. Like, hello? Yeah, right. The way overload works. A function pointer is trivially copyable. It's just a pointer, right? Like, just come on, super fast. Like, it's 8 bytes. Don't fight me on this. Just take the 8 bytes and don't worry about it. But like, look at the internals, right? It's got a compressed pair. Oh, thank you. Of the void star and the dx. I'm assuming the dx is not the wrong way around, are they? No. What are you? A member of a class template cannot acquire a function type. What does that mean? It's trying to right. So internally, a unique pointer will use what's called a compressed pair, which is a way of when you have a destructor which is effectively stateless or can be stateless, you don't actually want it to take up any memory in the class. So you can make it have a non-unique address. And before they introduced the attribute non-unique address, or whatever it's called, you had to use this thing called a compressed pair, which makes use of the empty base class optimization, blah 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 blah, 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 in details. That's effectively what this is using. But it's saying here that my val1 of this is a member of a class template cannot acquire a function type. Oh, yeah, but I shouldn't have it. So yes, I might have to. So someone's saying, do I put? But I'm worried now. This is now the decal type of a pointer to a pointer, as in like. Oh. Absolute left wing suggestion from Twitch there. Thank you very much. Why is that different though? What is the decal type of a? Hang on. Right, I'm not going to be able to sleep now until I know this. Right. Hang on a minute. It's not going to work for me, is it? Hash include type traits. So let's do the same as decal type. There should be a. Hang on, what is going on? Why is... Okay, fine. Same as decal type foo should be the same as a void star int star. Right? Compile file, yeah, but like, why? Like, same as is definitely the it's in concepts. Fine. Okay, if you want to be really pedantic about it. Oh, interesting. It deduces the type as a. Oh, it doesn't deduce it as a function pointer. Interesting. It does deduce the type as the actual signature. Interesting. Well, today I learned. I thought that would work, whereas that will now work because this will deduce the type. So yeah, interesting. Okay, fine. That was a misunderstanding on my part of the language. So thank you very much for teaching me something today. Who is it? I want to find it. Who said it? Work harder, comrade. I'm doing my best. Thank you very much. All right. Can I just do path.cstra, or is it got to be path.string.cstra? So ampersand func is the same as func, I think, in some situations. I think if you're passing it as an argument, as like a runtime, as a value, it is. I guess if you're passing it as a type, it is different, potentially. Because I think this and this are the same in terms of value, but I guess in terms of type, for the type system, they are different. This is technically incorrect. This could leak. Interesting if anyone can see where the issue is. I'm not going to fix it now. We'll have to fix it later. No, actually, will they? Oh no, never mind. No. If one of these throws, if one of these ensures fails, it will destruct. No, if one of these throws, it will leak everything behind it because they would technically be fully constructed at that point. Anyway, something to think about. The key difference is that decor type X, where X the function name is not subject to pointer to function decay, so you end up with an L value function type. Interesting. That is interesting. So it's not to do with the type system at all. It's actually a specific part of decor type. Decor type is weird anyway, especially because you can use it if you force it to evaluate an expression, so a double set of parens, then you can use it to figure out what the value category of the value category of an object is, which is very strange. Okay, we're not quite finished yet because actually I want stirred size t size. Anyway, that was a fun jolly through the weeds. Hope everyone stayed with me there. Okay, so this should now be able to return reinterpret cast const char star of map view dot get size. and that should be const stud byte. Oh, put that in the wrong place. Okay. We've got some language lawyers on Twitch, which is exciting. This should be this. They should have the similar constructor. So string view should. Oh, this one might be wrong actually. I think span has a constructor which is a pointer and a size. String view might not. It might be a pointer and a pointer. I have to check. Anyway, got bigger problems at the moment because I forgot to save my header file. I hope 2.5 hours in, and that's the first time that's happened. That's exciting. Yeah, some language lawyers on Twitch. Thanks for coming along and teaching me. There. It does have a pointer and a size, so this should work. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. That'll be why. Not responding to that one. Cannot bait me. Did I get this performance stuff fixed? I mean, that's a big question. Like, we think we know how to fix it. Okay, so this. Right, okay. So I quite like this abstraction now. So now we can go back to the resource loader. We can now go hash include mapped file, and then we can go auto load const mapped file. Okay, and then we can go resource loader. We can get rid of all this shite. Don't need you. Right, and so hang on, I've forgotten a key part of this, is how to actually tell it what you want. So this will obviously get angry because of all the call sites of it, but I think we should be able to fix that relatively easily. Okay, so I was expecting lots of errors in main, which is good, because I need to fix all this up. And yeah, okay, fine. Let's get about fixing this. So we're gonna have to load all these as files, and then I guess this is the problem now, is that we will now need to pull all these out as mapped files. We no longer have a way of just getting the data, but I still think this is better. So let's just go through and fix all these up. So all this chuff goes away because I want const auto TLV file equals resource loader dot load resource, and then this just becomes now TLV file dot as data, which I think is a lot nicer. Barrel spec file equals resource loader dot load barrels drums messiness dot data dot ping. Right, and then const auto barrel normal file equals, let's just and then all this becomes CT that barrel spec file dot as data, and then the resource I do dot on that, and then normal. Right. Okay, fine. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. We're making good progress. You've discovered a bug in your current project where if you press reload level at the wrong time, it will corrupt your save. That's some bug. Auto simple vert file equals resource loader dot load simple vert, and then you've got fv frag, and then fv there frag, and then what is going on? Right, okay. Resource loader cf that will be simple frag vert file dot as data. Frag. Oh, that'll be a string actually, I guess. Okay, getting there. Is that the last one? And then I think the debug layer also uses it. So skybox right equals resource loader dot load right dot JPEG. Right, left, top, bottom, front, back. cft left dot cft top and dot cft bottom and dot cft front and dot cft back and dot. Right, okay, fine. I feel like there's a macro in here somewhere, which will take me longer to write than actually doing it, but I feel it should be fun. Let's go QA df that, and then skybox underscore file c dot as data q. Right. Okay, fine, whatever. Top, CFT bottom, CFT front, CFT back. Oh my goodness! Right, lots of comments. Could you not resource loader dot name? I say to no, because that will load this into a temporary, and then after that line it will call the destructor, then it will immediately unmap it, so you'll end up with a dangling reference. Okay. Okay, fine. So now into the, what was that? It was in the resource loader. Please stop. Resource loader. No, sorry, not in the resource loader. In the renderer. I don't remember the renderer loading anything specific. Oh, it does, doesn't it? Because it sets up a load of. I think this is. Could we use the temporary here? Because you don't need it after that line, and I think it's valid for the lifetime of the function call. Oh, it's so complex. It's easier to just not worry about it. Resource load dot load cube dot vert. Oh, fuck's sake. Right, okay. So then we can do resource, cf that, and just do vert file dot as string, cf that, frag file dot as string. And then we can do const auto, if that's just And this is post PJEX. I need to rename that as well because it's actually it's a very specific post process now. It's not just a generic one, but oh well. Yes, they are. I copied them earlier. It's good. It's a good point. But I think I copied them over earlier. Mesh loader. Okay, fine. We are so close to having exactly where we were nearly 3 hours ago. Oh my goodness, I've already got a model file name. Right, okay. Equals resource loader dot load model file. And then resource loader will become model file mapped dot as data. Yeah, long stream today. It do be how it is how it is. Okay, where's it from? Main 86. Main 86. Oh my goodness! I think someone said there was a suspect space. So apologies if I ignored you. I was like, I'll come back to that later. Right? Oh, hang on, is it? I actually feel more like seeing how quickly it's loading those textures now. I actually feel confident that this is the right solution, even if it took us a little bit of a roundabout way to get there. Oh, these aren't these. Hey. Oh, because these are now packed into the thing, aren't they? So I now need to pull those out. Oh no, they've just got the wrong name, haven't they? Right, so I want to do in dot srgb. Oops. Yeah, srgb. Yeah, nice. Okay. Okay, where's me? I'm going to leave that here only because I've streamed for. I don't mind, like it's been good fun, but I do have work tomorrow, so I've been streaming for quite a while, which I think we got quite a lot done. I think maybe ambitious of me to try and achieve 4 things when we just about achieved 1. But anyway, so we will spend one more stream on this. I think next stream we'll refactor main to pull out all the images from the TLV, which will be nice and quick, and then we will pack in the mesh data, and then we will pull those out, and then we'll just integrate it into CMake. And I think with a fair wind, we will be able to do that in a stream, which means then hopefully next Sunday. So I'll try and do that on Wednesday. Next Sunday we can look at adding a physics engine and get these barrels like rolling around and stuff. Yeah, I don't know about the WSL disk overhead because, I mean, maybe it's an interesting point. I don't know. Maybe I'll copy it out and try it later. We need to add. Well, I think compression is on my to-do list. It doesn't get us towards the game. It gets us, something useful at some point. Like, it's not needed now. Where's my before it disappears? I think I can gift on YouTube. Membership gifting 5. Right, let's go. So YouTube allows me to gift 5 memberships. There's 10 memberships a month to random people in batches of 5. So congratulations, you 5. Anyway, that's a 1 month free trial of the YouTube membership, which gives you early access to videos, and there should be, in theory, a new video this coming week if I get time to finish editing it, about halfway through the editing, and then members get access to it early, and then a few days after that, everyone else will get it. So yeah, hopefully that's of use to some people. Obviously no obligation to continue afterwards, although if you do, that is great. I'm not going to raid today, I think. I'm just going to kind of wrap this up. But yeah, glad everyone, thanks for coming along. Thanks for sticking with me through my ramblings today. We spoke a lot about C++ actually, which was good. We got to cover I learned something, which is good. And then got to go over some of the more nitty-gritty internal details, which is always a fun part of using the language. Whether you like it or not, there certainly is a lot to talk about. Yeah, well, WSL version 2 is a VM, right? Whereas version 1 was the clever syscall proxying. So in which case, it should have all the Windows syscall should have been proxied over to POSIX ones. But I think, sorry, the other way around. But I'll tell you what, it's probably. Because when you launch a native Windows executable through WSL, it does launch it natively in Windows. So it's not, it appears in like the Windows system tray, and it's actually, as far as I can tell, it's actually doing some magic to launch it normally. So I guess the question then is, when it's reading all the files and it's going through the virtualized file system, whatever it is, whether that's slow. So yeah, I might try copying it out and see if it's any faster. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway. I've rambled a lot. I thank you everyone for coming along. It's been great fun. I've really enjoyed today. I was getting a little bit frustrated with it, but I think we kind of were back on track now and got a clear goal, and should be good fun. So next stream, we'll finish this off, hopefully, and then we can do something more graphical, something more interesting. But yeah, thanks everyone much for hanging around, and I'll catch you all in the next one.